If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in just one place. With Anchor, you can record not just from your computer, but from your cell phone. You can have your podcast played on many different listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Look, with Anchor, it's free. Anchor is completely free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You would not be disappointed. Welcome back to Kicking It with Tina, where I'm your host, Tina. Today is May the 19th, 2022. I want to talk to you all about forgiveness. And I'm going to give you a few steps that can help you be able to hopefully be able to forgive someone, not just for them, but for yourself. And then afterwards, we're going to have a few testimonials from a few people explaining the process they had to go through or what they went through in their life to forgive someone. As we all know, forgiveness can be a long and treacherous process. It's not easy. And I tell people don't take it lightly. But when someone wrongs you, somehow you might feel certain you'll never be able to get over it. I know I have. Even after that immediate anger passes, you might continue to dwell on the betrayal instead of letting it fade into memory, which is hard for many of us. Some people hold grudges for a short time, some people hold grudges for a long time. My mom used to say that, all of that anger and bitterness and rage and jealousy and hate will boil up inside of you and cause stomach ulcers. And that's a true fact. You have to learn how to eventually let it go. Just keep praying, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, just like I said, let it fade into your memory. It is, of course, it's common to feel this way because we're humans, but not being able to forgive someone is doing more harm to you than good. Forgiveness does it really is challenging because, like I said, it's hard, and especially depending on what someone did or said or how they treated you. It's hard, but it's often can be misunderstood. I tell people I'm not a mind reader. If I hurt your feelings or said something or done something that I was aware of, please come to me and let me know. Say, listen, Tina, you said this and it kind of made me feel this way, and I will apologize because I'm not in the business of hurting people's feelings. But sometimes it can be misunderstood. I mean, a simple misunderstanding between two people. And that's all it would take. But because a lot of people, they pride get in the way, I'm not going to talk to that person. I know what they said. I know what they did. And that's it. Some people would get back at people and, oh man, that anger build up. I'm going to get them. And it could just mean something so simple. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. You know, Forgiveness of what happened can cause a big, big, big part of you that you may have never known, existed. It'll bring out this evilness inside. And of course, everyone should always being positive for some people is really, really hard. It's really hard to be positive all the time because some people just get used to being bitter and angry to where have you ever called someone and you may call them because you're in a good spirit and every time you talk to them they always upset about this, upset about that, I can't stand this, they angry, they fussing and stuff like that. That's annoying, that's draining. I don't want to hear that every time I call you. So sometimes just sit back and say, you know what, not today, not today. Today, I'm going to try to have a better day. So we're going to get into this. Forgiveness simply means choosing to let go of your anger, your hurt, your desire, your vengeance. That's true forgiveness. You might accept what happened in the past, recognize that people do make mistakes, but still, because of some people's egos, like I stated before, they just can't shake it. They just can't let it go. Forgiveness, like I said, heals your soul from the inside. It's wounds that needs to be closed and healed. And when you forgive someone, you're not just saying what you did was okay. You deciding to let go of that burden stuck and the emotions and to just let it go. Let it go, to have a lighter heart. Forgiveness, it could be words, it could be, anything, any type of way, shape, or form. But as long as you say, you know what, wake up one day and say, I'm tired of being drained. I'm tired of feeling angry. It takes a lot of work, believe it or not, to be angry all the time. Like you're never happy, even if it's just sporadically. Let it go. Harboring anger towards someone, it affects you may be in a relationship. It's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect, if you got time you spending with your kids, because you got so much anger inside that they may come at you at the wrong time and what get my face, I don't want to, and no, you lashing out on other people because you're angry with someone else. And it's never cool to lash out on somebody for somebody else doing. It's a struggle. It really is a struggle. But forgiveness, I'm telling you, for your health, it can lower blood pressure. It can reduce anxiety. You can have a better sleep. You ever went to sleep? I know. One night I was so happy. Many nights, and I went to sleep and I had a good sleep. But when you got so much anger built inside of you, you can't sleep because your mind is racing. You're just thinking of different ways, what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do, or why you're not talking to that person. But I'm telling you, when you let it go, it improves your self-esteem. You have a glow on you of happiness, of peace. Peace. Don't know, heart problems and stress and muscle tensions come from anger. From anger. Sometimes they even say it can decrease immune function. You know what I'm saying? So you have many elements on why it's best to forgive. Okay, we're going to get into these steps about anger. Sometimes you can, hey, cry it out. There's different ways that you can release it. Crying, they always say, is a healthy way for your body to release emotions such as, you know, uh, uh, anger or sadness. Just sit there and just cry. Let it out. Write it down. Some people say, hey, get a pen and paper, and write it all down and leave it. Leave it in that book. Don't worry about it. Some nowadays, all over the world, they got a rage room where you can go and bust up windows, bust up cars, draw and beat this up and beat that up. Hey, if that helps you to get rid of it, by all means. Another way, you can create art, drawing, painting, you know what I'm saying? Anything in your mind that can help you to let it go. Exercise. Ooh, I know a lot of people say when you angry, just exercise. Punch the air, kick the air, let it go. Let it go. As long as you're doing it in your home and you're working out and not actually kicking someone, that's another good way. Have a heart to heart. Just like I said, the person may not have known what happened, but if you sit down and talk to them and let them know, it could have just been a misunderstanding. Try meditating. A lot of people are meditating nowadays. They're, playing the music and they're breathing and they're definitely trying to, kumbaya it out. And another 7 simple steps that would guide you into forgiveness. Step number 1, acknowledgement. Acknowledge the hurt. Who hurt you? Why they did it. 2, consider how the hurt and pain have affected you. Once you can get to that, then you can move on to step number 3 and accept that you cannot change the past. No matter how much you wish this pain could be reversed, it's time to admit to yourself your anger towards that person and won't redeem what they have done. It's during that step that you must thoughtfully consider whether or not you want to forgive. Step 4, determine whether or not you will forgive. Step 5, repair. If it's possible, repair the relationship with the person that wronged you. If not, like I tell people, you can always love from a distance. I forgive you and I still love you, but we have to go our separate ways. Step 6, learn. Learn what forgiveness means to you. Learn And once the relationship in that path is restored, you've given yourself time to accept the reality of the past. Step 7, forgive. Forgive the person who wronged you. In some cases, it may be silent. You may be compelled to verbally forgive the person, even if they do not accept it, but you know in your heart that you truly forgave. Listen, I went to church on Sunday and the pastor told us this story. He said it was a guy that stole, I think, about $80,000 from the church. And the pastor said, I don't understand why he stole that from me. I was willing to help him get to where he wanted to go. I was willing to help him build. And he stole from me and took a lot of members. And the pastor said I was so full of hurt and rage and anger, and I just couldn't understand how could he do this. And he was talking to his wife, and then he said one day he went down to the beach with his family. And normally they go to Captain, I think it was Benjamin's, to go eat. And God spoke to him and said, go to the other seafood place. And he said, no. He said, this is what we like. And God just kept tugging. He said, go down to that other place like I'm telling you. And he followed God and went to that other restaurant. He dropped his family off, sent the family into the restaurant to go find a table as he parked his car. He later on came inside the restaurant and his wife said, honey, you ain't going to believe who's sitting across from us. And the pastor looked, and it was the same guy that stole the money from the church and took the members and his family. The pastor said, I proceeded to walk over to him. I spoke to him and his family. I gave them a few encouraging words, and I paid their dinner. And he said, then I went back to my wife and said, baby, I forgave him. See, many times the pastor said throughout his life, the time span that he hasn't seen the guy, he wasn't sure. Even though he spoke and said, I forgive him, he wasn't sure if he truly forgave him until that time where he met him face to face. And that's your true test. You can sit here and say, listen, oh, I forgive you. I forgive that person. But how would you feel when you come face to face with that person? Will all of that anger and build come right back up in that rage? If that does, you haven't truly forgave that person. But if you can look and be cordial and just speak, hi, that's it. We're not saying you have to forgive, you have to handshake, you have to hug, you have to kumbaya, you have to go out to lunch and dinner together. No, you're forgiven so you can have peace. So you can have peace. So you can let the stress go. So you can let all of that anxiety and rage built up go. It's to better you, to better your family, everyone around you. I'm telling you, you will feel so much better when you learn to forgive someone. So if you don't receive anything else out of what I just said, just know it won't be easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Remember the health benefits that I mentioned earlier. It's worth it. We're going to jump right into our first caller, and she's going to explain what she went through, how she forgave, and how she finished the race.
Hey.
So you would like to tell us a story about a time that you had to forgive someone and let go and move forward?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. We're listening.
Okay, so the moment basically was I was doing a favor for a friend, and I left the receipt after the purchase on the table. The next day, that person addressed me about the receipt. They assumed that I was stealing and I was lying, which I don't think that was even a thing if I put the receipt on the table. It bothered me so much to the point that, like, a year had passed, we hadn't talked. She attempted the apology and then piggyback with, can I get another room?
Oh,
so
wow.
To me, So to me, I took that as, like, it wasn't sincere.
Mm-hmm.
I really did try to forgive her because her daughter and my daughter are really good friends, but it just didn't sit well with me.
So you forgave her, not only for her, but for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you were so upset.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it hard to move on?
In a way, no, because part of me, like I said, my daughter and her daughter are good friends. So I did not want to stop them from being friends because of my situation with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself being cordial and having simple conversations. But if that person was to ask me for favors, I just could not see myself doing that for them.
Okay. Well, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Like I tell people, forgiveness is something that's hard, but you're not just doing it for that person, you're doing it for yourself. So you won't have anger build up. And when you realize you can, be cordial even after someone done you wrong, then you're in a good space.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you for calling in, and you have a great day.
Me too, anytime.
And we have another caller on the line. How you doing?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Okay, so you're going to tell us about a time where you had to forgive someone?
Yes, it was someone that had hurt me so bad to the point that I was in tears almost every day. But I knew I had to forgive them because forgiveness is not for them, it's for you.
Yes.
And for me to move on and to have joy in my life, I knew I had to forgive them. You don't have to forget, but you do have to forgive to have inner peace.
Yes.
So that's why I would encourage anybody, no matter who hurt you, it's like I said, forgiveness is divine, but it's for you, not for them.
Yes.
So you can move on and enjoy your life.
Yes. Well, thank you for calling in, and I'm glad you forgave, and I'm pretty sure you're sleeping good at night.
Yes, I am.
Well, you have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., I will upload a new episode. Every Friday at 7 p.m., my daughter, Christyla Rose Wright, will be reading a children's book while she's being introduced by her baby brother, Eric. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., I will play 3 gospel songs, randomly picked from old school to new school. Thank you, and I'm out.